Falk reporting for WashingtonYouthSoccer.org, and today we turn the spotlight on college coaches and what they can get out of watching championship caliber and championship cup matches from Washington Youth Soccer. And so we are talking with Julie Woodward, who's the head coach of the Seattle University Redhawk women. And nice to see you, Julie.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's talk about the differences, because coaches can choose, or coaches only have a limited amount of time to go to matches, and there's cup matches and there are college showcases, but we're at a cup situation now. What do you get out of seeing the players in this environment?
Well, I would say first and foremost that just the soccer movement in Washington over the past few years has grown tremendously, and being out here this weekend, my assistant was here all day yesterday, so seeing all the semifinal games, I would just say number one, just the competitive environment, and by the time you get to this level in the state cup, the talent, the competitiveness and competition amongst teams, I just think you get to some of the top players, top teams in the state, and it's all in one place, which is fantastic. And I know for me personally, I like to find the best talent in our state first. That's a goal of mine, and I think of our programs. So.
Now, the game that we're at halftime of now is a U16?
Yes,
U16. So what age do you think you start looking at players for college? Is it what is it?
You know, well, my daughter's on a U12 team, and I've already eyed some kids. No, I would say, I bet it differs definitely from program to program, but I think each year it's getting to where you're looking at a little bit younger teams. I know we were out here for the U15s even today, which most of them I think are high school graduating class of 2013. So I'd say right around that age, 15s maybe, and then I think you have, you kind of know what you're looking for when they turn to the U16 level. So it starts early.
So by the time you get a freshman, what is there left to teach them?
Well, it depends on their club coach. Just kidding. I think that it's our job as college coaches. I think that, of course, you definitely want to win. I think that's why we're all in this business, because you're competitive, because we're competitive. But I think that it's definitely our job to continue on with the development of players and to put them in a situation where they're going to be challenged as a player, where they're going to reach their potential, where there's going to be some growth. But going back to the club coaches around here, it's amazing what they're doing with these kids. And I think, I remember, I won't say how long ago I was playing club soccer. It might have been a teammate's dad coming out to coach me, and now I think the club coaches around here are amazing. They're professionals, they're ex-college players, ex-All-Americans, and they're spoiled, these kids, which is great. I mean, I think that has to do a lot with how much soccer's grown in Washington, and I was watching the 17s earlier, and there's verbal commitments heading off to huge schools. I mean, big top 25 programs, and I think it credits the state of Washington a lot.
So Seattle University is making the transition, or actually last year was a transition year for you in Division I, and you played an all non-conference schedule, and you were all over the western part of the United States. This year you're in conference, is that right? Tell me about what's up for Seattle University women this year in Division I.
Okay, this year we are still an independent, and I think there's definitely some pros to that, and some of it is I get to pick and choose my schedule. I'm not bound and tied to a conference schedule as much as a lot of conferences have the automatic burst to the NCAA tournament. This next year's the year, our first year we're playoff NCAA tournament eligible, and as a coach or as a program, we just make sure we are all over the place and we're making a strong effort to play the best teams across the country, and fortunately for us, a lot of them are here in this region, so we don't have to go too far between Oregon, California. It's really nice.
So your goal then is an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament?
It would be an at-large berth to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm.
Are we developing local rivals? What do you think? I know you played Central Washington last year, right? Mm-hmm. And who else did you play? Will the Huskies and SeattleU be a big rivalry in women's soccer sometime? Is that the goal?
Well, I hope so. I do think we actually played Central 2 years ago. This last year we didn't. We've played the University of Washington last year, have them on our schedule this year, have Portland on our future schedule in 2011. So Definitely, I think the greatest thing now is just the addition of another Division I program in the state of Washington, and we're different. We're different than the University of Washington, who may be our rival. We're just a smaller private school, and I think it gives a lot of kids in the state a great opportunity to choose between two different schools.
Well, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, and we'll let you get back to the second half of the match.
Great, thank
Thanks.
you.